Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake, a special edition because it's December 1st, people. Can you believe that? How do you like it? We are in the throes of the baseball offseason, sneaking up on winter meetings, so expect things to get spicy. Not talking about me and BBD in Orlando for winter meetings. Watch out. Hotel rooms, extra cards. We won't talk about that. Well, we will talk about. There was a potential trade candidates from every club article from Mark Feinsand. We could say a friend.
Yeah.
Wrote a book with
MLB.com.
Brian Hoke.
Hoke friend. We're friends with Hoke, so he loves us.
There's respect in different facets. So we'll do some potential trade candidates from every club. You don't want to miss who he starts with. We'll get there. I guess I'll cover quickly the Dylan Cease signing. We haven't done that here. I'm trying not to do the double up talking baseball Wake and Jake, but in the past couple episodes, it's just been in the rhythm that, and I don't know. I don't think the takes have to be that far advanced for that. And Ryan Helsley signed with your Baltimore Orioles. Yankees, are you sleeping? Brian Cashman is for a cause. Every year. If we can maybe get that on the screen, BBD, that always makes the people happy. No one cares. Anyways, we'll close up with a little baseball. I think there's some people I may owe an apology to. Maybe I'll even talk about Lane Kiffin. Kind of wild that they had the world by the balls for a little bit there. Anywho, let's talk some baseball, and let's talk. No, I'll do Dylan Cease quick. Because that can happen. Dylan Cease signed with the Toronto Blue Jays and maybe changes part of their upcoming trade outlook as they have a full rotation. It's an exercise that, BBD, this feels, if I'm being honest, this is an exercise I feel like I'm not going to circle back on. But it's the concept of saying, like, maybe I'll do this exercise. For those on the YouTube, there's Brian Cashman in a sleeping bag outside. He does that every year. What's the cause? I feel like I should know this. It's for preventing homelessness.
It's
helping?
It's helping homeless people, raising money and awareness and all that.
Okay. Dylan Cease signs with Toronto, 7 years, $210 million. Everyone wondered, Toronto, they thought they'd be big players in this off-season. Bichette, Kyle Tucker. They went out and they got a pitcher. Maybe the pitcher that gets the most amount of money. Framber might get a bigger AAV. Amai from Japan has a chance to catch him. But Dylan Cease, age, year, talent-wise, 210, 7 years. The exercise that I said I'm probably not going to do, but I'm thinking about, is how much money your team is spending in their rotation. Because right now, Toronto, I think it's $26 million a year AAV for Cease because they're doing some of the money on the back end. Gossman gets $23 million. Barrios is getting $19 million. And then, what's his name? Bieber accepted that $16 million option. And then right now the fifth would be Trey Savage. Remember him? I do. Splitter. So, yeah, I mean, that's four guys in their rotation making over $15 million. I think there's a fun exercise by the end of the year when you compare that to Tampa, Pittsburgh, some of these other teams. Like, what's Pittsburgh paying their I mean, if they trade Mitch Keller, they don't pay their rotation over $10 million.
It's
just Keller.
Their only players with guaranteed salaries, full stop, are Mitch Keller at 15.4 AAV. It's escalating, but that's the AAV. Wow. And Brian Reynolds on his long deal that still has a lot of time on it.
Yeah, right. Paul Skeens, $3.4 million ARB, breaks the record, so that's great. Happy for Paul and Liv. Happy for Toronto, man. Hey, they keep the momentum going. And, man, by this calendar year end, they're going to have paid Vlad $500 million. They're going to pay Cease $210, and they're probably going to get one of Tucker and Bichette. Who knows what else they have up their sleeve. I did see, we'll get to the trades, people, because it starts with Toronto, oddly enough, that they were saying maybe Barrios could be on the block now. His $19 million per year isn't as daunting as it would have looked a few years ago, maybe when he originally signed that contract. If not, they have a rotation, and they have guys that make starts. Barrios and Cease are both on like the most starts made since 2020 list. Gossman is a horse. Bieber, building himself up after last year, that if this is their 5 going into the year, you'd feel pretty damn good. Especially knowing their bullpen, because we got a lot of familiarity with these guys in October, and where their lineup's currently at. I know they're missing Bo or Tucker, we think, but they are sitting pretty good up in Toronto, while probably adding another massive contract, which would mean they're going to spend $1 billion in 365 days. Good for Toronto. What a change for kind of the tone of that organization. Cease has some interesting stuff. He makes every start. He strikes guys out. That's it. His slider numbers were down this year. His first pitch strike numbers were pretty rough. So some first pitch strikes, maybe get a little different shape on that slider. He's finished second in the Cy Young. He's finished fourth in the Cy Young. My positive Jakey optimistic spin is I think there's 2 guys you could compare this contract to that bodes well for Dylan Cease. Those 2 guys would be Zach Wheeler. When Zach Wheeler signed his free agent contract, he was kind of talented, but it never peaked. He also had a little bit of injury stuff that Cease doesn't have that. And then Wheeler's turned into one of the best free agent contracts of all time, so I'm not necessarily...
And the reaction first was literally like, how could they do that?
Shock, which, hey, I think when people saw that Cease number at first, if you're not deep in baseball, I could see you being a little... That's a big number. It's a big number. The cap went up. No cap in baseball. People forget that. The other one that I could see is Nathan Eovaldi. Nate Dogg took a while to break out as a starting pitcher, but he has the arm talent. He's a horse. He's got some gusto. I think if you're looking at Cease on that scale, and I think it's funny that him and Helsley, the 2 pitching contracts that got done in this timeline, 2 guys coming off kind of lackluster seasons. Cease had an ERA in the 4.5 range. Helsley, when he went to the Mets, LOL Mets, ERA with the 7. That I think it's funny. I think both teams, Toronto and Baltimore, the birds of the East, I think they both saw an opportunity in the market. That if these 2 guys had hit free agency after their 24 seasons, Helsley led the league in saves. Cease was 4th in Cy Young, like I mentioned. I think both of these guys would have outdone this number, that these teams are taking quote-unquote chances on guys when they very much believe in the arm talent. So more so interested to see the next steps for Toronto. Happy for Dylan Cease. And my first wrong of the episode, I thought Cease was going to take like a 3-year with options deal, because if he had that Cy Young 3 season in the next 3 years, I thought he could go and get a bag bigger than this. Who cares? 7 years, 210?
Sign me up.
It's insane. Happy for Toronto. Happy for Dylan Cease. Just always interested. It feels like there is another level to his pitching development. And again, that's almost being rude to a guy that's finished 2nd and 4th in the Cy Young. So let's see what Toronto's next moves are. And Toronto leads off the trade portion of this episode. Orioles signed Ryan Helsley. Sneaky, they'd had the first move of the offseason. They traded back for Andrew Kittredge, so they've got an 8-9 in the back of their bullpen. Bautista, I don't think is lined up to come back this year. For the Baltimore Orioles, Tyler Ward, Ryan Helsley, Andrew Kittredge. It's a start. You want your team doing something. It's just how much more of something is coming. I think Helsley's pretty good. He had some weird stats, too. The guy's kind of hit his fastball, which he throws really hard, and feels like if we can mess with that shape in one pitching session, that might work. I don't know. Not a pitching coach. Pete Walker, Toronto. Credit where credit's due. So those were the 2 signings that happened. The other baseball news was Rendon. Bless you, BBD. Rendon still doesn't like playing baseball. Kind of a cop-out answer. But yeah, Angels are thinking of buying him out, which could allow them more flexibility. I don't know, just kind of crazy. Call me maybe. Hey, people were shocked Zach Wheeler got that contract. When Rendon signed, everyone was like, I don't know, man. And that unfortunately prevailed, that he is going to be a weird blip in baseball history. From his third in MVP World Series victory to where things have landed. And yet there was a part of it. The whole thing's weird. Me and Trev got into a weird talking baseball discussion because, like, the guy said he prioritized faith and family, which nobody hates that.
Yeah.
We support that.
Part of the not liking baseball is liking kind of everything else in his life.
Yeah. I still don't know what to fully do with that. We'll see what's next there. Let's talk about some potential trade candidates from every club. And if you want to read along, MLB.com article, Mark Feinsand, like we said. Talk about a factor. All of these guys. Yeah. All these guys could be big factors in the upcoming trade market. And factor, the meals, people, could be a huge factor in your life. If you're busy, which you are, you know what? Some of you aren't. But you're going to be busy. Like, that's just how life works. And that factor could be there for you with their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals that make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicioso. No matter how hectic the season gets, more variety, more meals. They got a ton of selection. They have a whole Asian-inspired line. Go check it out. Factor big in the office. New Factor delivery today.
Oh.
Kind of changed the whole tone out there. So why don't you guys go and eat smart? It's like 2 minutes, people. Eat smart at factormeals.com/WakeandJake50off. Use code WakeandJake50off. 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code WakeandJake50off at factormeals.com for your 50% off your first box, and free breakfast for a year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Thank you, Factor. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Feinsand, for this delicious article. And like I told you, it's always interesting to see how an article plays out. He wrote his starting in the American League East, which I do that sometimes, but I don't start with the Blue Jays, who got the alphabetical nod.
I think it's organized by division and alphabetical within the division.
Alphabetical by their team name, not the city.
Yeah, by team
Because normally
name.
you would do it by the city. So in the AL East, the Blue Jays get the nod, and people, we talk a lot of ball here. There's a lot of you that are ball knowers. And, I could, spoilers. The Detroit Tigers player listed is Tarik Skubal. Hey, if you want to talk about that, why don't you get out of here? No, we can talk about that too. Mark Feinsand starts us off with Joey Loperfido. Yes, J-Lo, as you know him. We're talking about the Blue Jays potentially still signing Kyle Tucker. They have a full outfield as is. With Springer, Varsho, Lucas. Remember how good that guy was? Santander. There's your DH. So, Toronto, crowded outfield. In a limited sample size last year, Joey Loperfido, 104 plate appearances, 333, 379, and 879 OPS, age 26. He had only gotten run in one season before that, in 81 games. I don't know. Did the Blue Jays teach everyone how to hit? Is Joey Loperfido good at baseball? He was one of the guys they got for Yusei Kikuchi when they traded him at the deadline in 2024. So, hey, J-Lo might not get some of you excited, but maybe it does. Because is this a guy you could potentially dream on? Is this a guy, okay, let's call those Pittsburgh Pirates, send Mitch Keller over. Joey Loperfido, maybe he can hit. I don't know. That was a weird example, and I don't think the money works there. And I went to a Blue Jays blog of sorts, and they said maybe they pair Joey Loperfido with Barrios, get off Barrios' money. You get a reliable pitcher, and you get a potential starting corner outfielder. That could be appealing for a team. Not necessarily the twisted steel and sex appeal that maybe some of you thought you were looking for. But Joey Loperfido hit last year. I don't like the walk rate. Career 122 strikeouts to 17 walks.
There's room for improvement.
Hey, if you hit 333, we'll play you, kid. Again, maybe the Blue Jays actually I think I told the people this, but I guess I was bracing myself for when spring comes around and we start doing takes and what team do you like? And, a common question is this team going back to the World Series? When the Diamondbacks, when the Rangers, the next year you're like, whoa, do you think they can repeat and go back to the World Series? And it always feels kind of rude to say no, even though we're in a sport where it shows you it's near impossible, unless you're the Dodgers. Congratulations. You played yourself. I'm kind of fully, depending what Toronto does this offseason, I would be 100% in the right if I said I don't think the Blue Jays are going to run it back. The odds of a team running it back are very slim. They might make a lot of changes. And I don't know. Let's see where the rest of it goes, including Joey Loperfido. Could he be in your team's corner outfield? Didn't think I'd spend that much time on him, but I got excited. You guys saw it right at the middle there. Orioles, Ryan Mountcastle. Didn't realize how bad his year got. He had a 653 OPS in 89 games. The one thing Ryan Mountcastle didn't do last year that he's done every year, he didn't hit lefties. Ryan Mountcastle had an OPS in the 5 versus lefties. In his career, he has an OPS in the low 8s. So it's going to be interesting. 28 years old, 1 year on the deal. I don't know. I have a weird thing where sometimes I get too connected to guys like this. That, I don't know, Ryan Mountcastle, does he have a position, kind of first base? Can he hit righties? Can he hit lefties? I think he gets paid a little bit of money. Let's see, Mountcastle. It's a fun name. People talk about that enough. He made 6.7 this year. Okay. Damn it. Caught myself. But I don't know. Let's say he's projected for 8 this year. $8 million for a player like Ryan Mountcastle. That's accumulated 0.1 WAR last year. I don't know. Could be an interesting value play for a team for a guy that the previous 3 seasons, every season before last year, positive OPS plus. Last year was the 1 year. And he didn't hit lefties, which that just tells me something was off. I don't know if it was mechanical. I don't know if it was bad luck. I don't know where the line stands. I think Ryan Mountcastle can hit. I think he can put the bat on the ball. That you'd like to see a team take a chance on him. I keep going back to Pittsburgh, but again, did they spend money on anyone? If you're the Royals, can you tap into Ryan Mountcastle for a year? Padres, they just did the O'Hearn side of it. Why not go the other way? I don't know. I'll admit I'm a little bit of a sucker for Ryan Mountcastle, and I don't know if I should be.
Ryan Mountcastle, fun fact, Rookie of the Year votes in 2 different seasons.
Okay.
Oh, that's one of that always just sticks with me.
How do you like that?
Kim and Randy, 2020.
2020 and 2021. Use that at your bar trivia. How about bar trivia?
Wow.
Can be fun.
Randy didn't get any 2020.
Oh.
League of his own.
Just the playoffs. Just the offs. Odd amount of time on 2 teams and 2 players. Buckle up. Brandon Lowe from your Rays in AL East alphabetical order by team name. Just a reminder. I don't know. Brandon Lowe, we talked a lot about last year. $11.5 million, which for the Rays is something. 1-year deal. The defensive metrics aren't there, but the bat is, man. When this guy plays, a little bit of an injury history, but when he's out there. I mean, he hit 31 homers in 134 games. And yeah, he's kind of homered at that pace almost throughout his career. It's just 109 games in 23, 21 homers. 107 games in 24, 21 homers. So he's always had a positive OPS plus. Like, put Brandon Lowe on a good team. I know Yankee fans dreamed about him for a few years there, and now they've ended up too left-handed somehow, and we don't play defense. He says. I do. I'm a Yankees fan.
I support that.
I've always liked him on Houston. I don't know what that is.
The couple articles I've seen talking about him and do the Rays trade him, because Rays always trade their biggest salary, was kind of all the teams that like we know need to spend a little money. So it's all like Pirates and A's and
Pirates.
Like, that's obviously they should be in. They should want a good player for a reasonable price, but I think we would love for him to get somewhere very fun.
Does San Diego have room for him? What do they look like these days? Clicking over, San Diego, Cronenworth, Bogarts, Machado, Gavin Sheets. Yeah,
he's played some first.
I guess
there's Cronenworth.
Their DH spots kind of open. I really like Brandon Lowe. If your team gets Brandon Lowe, you should be excited. I'll stamp that one. The risk of injury is there, but when he's on the field, he is a good player. He is a big-time threat. I almost said Threadamundo. If you're on YouTube, you just saw me make a cute face. Thank you. Subscribe. Boston, still in the AL East. Wow. How many teams are there? Jarren Duran. Dana Gordon. You're on speakerphone. My wife's in the car. It's maybe my favorite Entourage quote. I haven't watched in years. People say it still holds up. I would be interested. There's got to be some scenes that don't. But I don't know. I used to love Johnny Drama so much. Off-season, maybe. I have other show priorities. Jarren Duran for Boston. I don't know. Had Jared Carrabis on Talking Baseball last week. He mentioned that, a lot of attention gets pointed to Duran. He thinks it could be any outfielder. It could be Wheelier. It could be Rafaela. I kind of called him out on that. The Red Sox love Rafaela. No way.
And for what you can lock him in for if you're the acquiring team with him having money owed to him, I know it's pre-arb deal. Nice, but
yeah, that is interesting.
Obviously, Red Sox, he shouldn't be off the table for you if that's who somebody wants, but I would assume Duran and Wheelier both are above.
At this point, I think you just run it out with Duran because, he's really good.
He's the best, guaranteed to be good.
Sets the tone for that team. But yeah, at Wheelier, it's always stood out. Every time you watch him play or every time you're looking at statistics, you're like, what are these guys' stats? That I wonder if he could bring in a young, cost-controlled starting pitcher for Boston, because everything on paper about Wheelier Abreu is a really good, cost-controlled baseball player, and they have a logjam in that outfield that I almost see them going that route, but we've heard Duran rumors for years. The Yankees, the last team alphabetically in the AL East, they list Spencer Jones, one of the Yankees' top hitting prospects, currently listed at number 4. Him and Jason Dominguez, the Yankees just need to make a decision on which one of those guys they believe in. The 6'7", Spencer Jones. I think he led the minor leagues in home runs last year. It's just a weird... You hate to do this to a kid, especially if Ryan Cohen in our office, actually friends with him, Little League teammates. I don't know, man. It just feels like the definition of either superstar or it's not going to work.
It feels hard to imagine an in between.
He's larger than life. 6'7". He's handsome. If it works, you start dreaming of Judge type stuff. If it doesn't, you're okay, I don't know if this guy's going to be able to hit. We are rooting for him in this office, but as Yankees trade bait goes, definitely an appealing option for other teams. The AL East is done. I clicked the Yankees. Can you name the Yankees' top 4 prospects from MLB.com, BBD?
Right now?
Right now.
Lombard.
Number 1.
ERC.
2. ER.
Elmer Rodriguez.
Thank you. Or he's ranked 3rd, excuse me.
Do they still have Jones up there?
They have Jones at 4.
Baseball America updated their top 10 list and dropped Jones to 6. Dax Kilby.
Carlos Legrande.
Oh, yes.
MLB.com likes him. They like the velo. That was for us, people. Sometimes that's how the program works. To the AL Central. And not a second later. Stephen Kwan. Rich homie Kwan from the Cleveland Guardians. I think he gets traded this offseason. The value prop between who Stephen Kwan is as a baseball player and what the Guardians see pay-wise and performance-wise, I think there's a slight gap there that I think the Guardians will see an opportunity to move him, and it'll probably be a frustrating move for Cleveland Guardians fans because how much of a baller is this dude? If your team gets Stephen Kwan, you're going to like the way it looks, I guarantee it. Shout out. Talk about a marketing campaign. If you walk up to pretty much anyone in this country and you say, you're going to like the way you look, they can finish the sentence. It's an all-time marketing campaign.
Like sneakily like one of the all-time.
Very much also just bad guy humor. Like I think we went to 5 Iron, hit some golf balls yesterday, and someone just said that, and we all just giggled. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it. It's nothing. But it's something. If your team gets Stephen Kwan, be very, very excited.
Works on all 30 teams. I'll say it.
Every one of them. And, like, the guy's sneaky as center fielder. Like, he just hasn't played for Cleveland, and that's why he's the best left fielder in the game. I wonder if a team will go for that. Royals, Kris Bubic. Hadn't heard this listed at all. Final year of his deal. Let's check out that Royals pitching. We know they're always looking for hitting.
I just saw somebody reported that they would love to cash in some of their pitching chips for an outfielder.
They've wanted to do that for years. Kris Bubic come home. Kris Bubic age?
28?
28. I had him at like 32. I didn't realize young, handsome, strong Kris Bubic. 20 starts last year, a 2.55 ERA. Did get hurt, but yeah, talented. He was kind of a breakout guy that people were on, and then he did break out, former first-round pick.
Ah, shit, he's younger than me.
Welcome to hell, BBD. It only gets worse. Kris Bubic. Okay, should we do this on the Bubic for Jarren Duran? Who says no?
Whoa.
Comment below. I don't know. I kind of like it both ways.
I kind of like it.
Shit. Do I tweet that? Do I still tweet? I'm a bad spot with social media. Just being real with people. It's brutal.
Still dabble.
The amount I open Instagram. What are you doing?
Who needs that?
Oh, this is how fire extinguishers are made. Don't care, but I kind of do. That's how they get you.
Now that you mention it, I'm interested.
Right? Now that's going to be in everyone's algo.
I guess Boston.
We just came up with a trade. I think Duran has shown his peak season and how good that can be, where Bubic kind of hasn't. But, I don't know, young, talented lefty arm for an outfielder. Okay. Good daydreaming, people. Tarik Skubal. This is where I started, but I didn't start. I don't have Skubal getting traded. This is where my Jake calculus doesn't click. The return you have to get for 1 year of Tarik Skubal, the bad man in his prime. If you're the Tigers, just to save face with the organization and the fan base, while other teams are saying, yes, he is the bad man, but it's only 1 year, so I can only give you... You know how teams get with their prospects and stuff. Like, again, when it's a dude like this, like I remember the Max Scherzer, Trey Turner trade, like, whoa. Like, when that package dropped, it was like, okay.
You're getting Trey Turner year and a half also.
But, right, that was also essentially that was a year of each kind of. That's weird Jake math. That was Jake-alytics. A year and a half of Trey and half a year of Max Scherzer. So, again, that's less than Tarik Skubal.
Yeah.
Like, you're looking at 2 prospects you've heard of, maybe? And Detroit's trying to compete.
To me, it feels like a situation of, like, if their season goes bad to the point where at the deadline they would consider still doing it.
Yes.
How much is the drop-off from now to deadline urgency time?
And you might have more desperate teams. Like, what if the Dodgers?
Or teams that talk themselves into it.
So that's where I've been at with that. I could be wrong. Maybe it drops at winter meetings. Again, me and BBD. Orlando. Hotel room. Yeah. Watch out.
Yep.
John Heyman. And this is probably a good time to tell you about Shopify. Shopify, true story, is a big part and a big connection to this company. It's where we started. Again, some of the early shirts that we posted were on Shopify, and we've continued to grow the relationship as we've relaunched our merch store on Shopify, our new /line site. A lot of fun, too. We brought the ideas. Shopify, they brought the execution. Shopify Sidekick. This is the real stuff, people. Shopify Magic and the suite of AI tools. They're a game changer. They're what helps it be a step above. It shows you the who, what, where, when, and why of who's buying, why they're buying, and the other stuff I just said, I guess. That Shopify can help you steer your business in the right direction. So if you want to be like us and start building your brand from the ground up, it's time to go over to Shopify and start your trial today. Click the link in the description. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/bakers. If you're ready to leave the amateurs and head over to the big leagues. Speaking of, this is a guy I didn't think was going to get traded, and now I'm starting to think. And kind of dumb that I was thinking no, but Joe Ryan for the Twins. He was almost traded. So that's a big hint.
Usually a hint.
That's a hint. A little tease there. The Minnesota Twins have to... I guess what I jumped to before this offseason was the Twins are very concerned about money, that I thought they would trade Pablo Lopez. Like, I think Pablo Lopez would definitely have some takers with that contract. They could get a player back and get off of all of Pablo Lopez's money. Joe Ryan's value is very significant. And he's really good. That I know I started daydreaming about the Yankees and Joe Ryan, which that means every team should be daydreaming about Joe Ryan. And they are. Should I get some Joe Ryan stats? Trevor Plouffe really likes him.
Yeah. He's been really liking him.
Trev says he's mentoring him, which maybe that's a red flag.
Maybe that's why you need to go get him out of there.
Maybe that's turning teams off.
As soon as we get Trevor Plouffe out of his head.
Who knows what this kid could turn into. Last year, 30 starts, 171 innings pitched, a 3.42 ERA, 135 innings the year before to the tune of a 3.6. So he has been steady. He was an all-star last year. The FIP lines up. The strikeouts are there. He throws an invisible fastball. We love that. I think if Joe Ryan's on the table, which, again, he was almost traded for 2 years, that's the window. We've seen this a lot before. MLB front offices generally agree on price tags in that window. That I just think, I almost think there's going to be so much interest in Joe Ryan that something has to happen. It's a team paying another prospect. It's a team upping the ante a little bit. It's a team maybe taking another player from the Twins to get the deal done. That I just think there should be so much interest in that guy that something will happen, which I've kind of changed my tune on since the beginning of the offseason. Luis Robert Jr., pass. Not doing it. I don't think the White Sox are either. They picked up his option. They've not traded him, and I don't think they will. And that value prop has never lined up because he's hurt and he gets paid a lot. And then sometimes when he's played, he's been not good. So they are just in bed together. He finished with a nice stretch last year, people. 793 OPS in the final 52 games. So we can work with that. Not entertaining it. The AL West, Joe Adell listed. This article came after the Taylor Ward trade, so that's a little surprising. Joe Adell, age?
20. Is he 27?
26.
All right.
26.
Young.
And hit 37 home runs last year. The former top prospect. 2 more seasons under control. Joe Adell, who went from, I don't want to say people were laughing, but a little bit. There's a little LOL Angels and a little bit, what is you doing, baby, with Joe Adell. For him to put in that season, if he keeps it rolling, man, he's going to be a free agent at 28 and have a couple 30-homer seasons under his belt.
If he can stay in center field in that time. Pre-Trent Grisham, not to Yankee brain everybody, but he was on the board for, all right, who's the center fielder they could get if they're adding a not center fielder in free agency.
Yeah, I don't have him as a center fielder.
Yeah, it did last year.
Go mash in the corners, pal. Here's the first one I think I'm shocked by. Yainer Diaz, listed for Houston. Man, be interesting to go back and picture where we had Yainer Diaz in the catcher tier list. 2 really strong offensive seasons. Last year, not so much. A 284 on base, a 701 OPS. A significant change from his previous 2 years. I always get curious with a young player, especially catcher. Could there have been some injury stuff there? He played 143 games. My goodness. So that's impressive in and of itself. And I don't know. I feel like again, if you're moving off Yainer Diaz, who are you moving in? And I don't have who that is because there's never catcher. So okay, let's see. Is that the second tier with Will Smith?
Second tier this year. Trying to line things up nice.
What happened?
He was a daisy hunter in 25. 2024, we had him finding the ceiling with all the other kind of half breakout guys.
Moreno, Alvarez. Yeah. Okay. All right, catchers. Yeah, I don't know. If you're Houston, you need another planet catcher. I don't know their farm system as well as I'd like, but replacing Yainer Diaz, I don't see it. I think Houston really likes their team. I think they can fairly point to the injury bug last year with a couple tweaks. Although you'd have to replace Framber, or do you? The Athletics, Luis Severino, that would be funny, the contract that came in because they had to give a contract. The pitcher that hated pitching at his home stadium, openly. If you have a bored minute at work or wherever you are, look at the Severino flops when he was pitching this year. Unreal. He's a big, silly Dominican guy. I happen to work with one of them, Joseph Solano, who happens to be Luis Severino's good friend. And yeah, man, felt like he was playing it up a little bit. Severino contract-wise, I guess you take out the home starts and 3.02 ERA and 14 road outings. $20 million with a $22 million player option. I guess the prices you pay for starting pitching.
That's not that
fine.
big an overpay.
That's there, to be honest. That would be interesting. Okay, I didn't believe in that. I'm starting to. Luis Castillo for the Mariners. I'm done playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just seen it for too long now. I think he's good. Would be a really sour way to end in Seattle. Remember when he got that early hook and he was just shocked? No, I'm not doing it. This guy. I like this guy. Josh Jung. Thick neck in Texas. A lot of injuries, and then the lack of performance followed. He just feels like a change of scenery in the biggest way, and then that's always unfair to the Texas Rangers because you're like, okay, if you think he's a change of scenery guy, that means you think he's good, so you want us to trade someone who's good at their lowest value. I get it. That's a little unfair. But I also fully believe in it. And these Texas Rangers are definitely shaking the team up. They already have. Could Josh Jung be a part of that? He's another, I would put him on my list of, if your team makes a move for Josh Jung, if you look at the baseball card, you shouldn't be that excited right now. Hey, injuries are what they are, and I don't really know what to do with them still. Like, I daydream about trading for Byron Buxton sometimes, and it's like, how could you possibly? Although he just put his first year together. That I don't know. I like the way Josh Jung looks on a baseball field. That I'm still going to believe in that, as he's a young ball player that's kind of gone through a lot. The National League, holy cow, Jaco. We're way back-o. It starts off with Sean Murphy and the Braves. So remember, alphabetical by team name. Yes, and 100 times yes. Like, I wanted this at midseason. Braves fans were staunchly against it. You guys know I don't like to use the term staunchly, but I just did. What are we doing? 3 years for $45 million? Someone get it done and get this guy on your team. I still really like Sean Murphy as a catcher. Drake Baldwin was very good for them. NL Rookie of the Year. Like, Braves are looking to shake something up. Shake it. Shake it, baby. Shake it, girl. Shake it for me, man. I've been a little loose today, huh? I hope you like it. Edward Cabrera for the Marlins. Almost a pass. Him and Sandy have just been rumored for so long. Edward's arm talent, pretty impressive. Obviously, same with Sandy. But yeah, I don't know. These guys have been rumored now that I just need to. I'm over it a little bit. You can hear from the tone in my voice. Jeff McNeil in the Mets. Holy cow. Yeah, Jolly said they've been on this. Marcus Semien now has the second base gig. McNeil would be in a super utility role. They have all those young players, Luis Angel Acuna, Ronnie Mauricio. Jeff McNeil, again, where's his value necessarily at? Final year of his deal with a club option for $15.75. And I don't know if it is a copycat league a little bit. I know Jeff McNeil can put the bat on it. You'd love for a good team, and maybe the Mets just do keep him. Jeff McNeil as your super utility. I realize there's limits defensively, but I don't know. I guess it's also an expensive super utility. But Jeff McNeil's best season, we know what that is. Does he still have that? I don't know. Mackenzie Gore, Nationals. One of the top controllable starters on the market, if he is on the market. 2 years left. This is the timeline. And yeah, man, we're still in a weird spot with this Nationals team that I don't think next year's the year. And even if the year after is the year, is Mackenzie Gore going to be there? And what if it's not? I think the Mackenzie Gore, I believe in that. Again, like we're talking about with the timeline there. I thought Boston might make a move on him. Another gas lefty. God, Dylan Cruz, James Wood, Brady House, Dalen Lyle, and Robert Hassel III. We still need more. C.J. Abrams. Could he get traded? I want someone to believe in him. Is Ron Washington retired? Because I know he was struggling with the Angels. Is he coming back?
He has stepped away from the Angels. I don't know if he's done.
If Ron Washington is healthy and doing well, let him cook with C.J. Abrams. That's my coaching advice. Let him cook. Phillies, Nick Castellanos. We've talked about this a little bit just because, Philly needs a shake. He gets paid $20 million. That's probably too much for where Nick Castellanos is at a ball player that the Phillies are probably going to pay to move on from him to help shuffle the team. In the NL Central, fastball Freddie P. Golly, I don't know. Like they shouldn't, right? But they're the Brewers. He makes $8 million. in 2026 as a 1, that the value they could potentially get back, it's just so crazy. It's, how do they keep getting away with this meme? That you hate that this is their talk, but they also have like a full rotation that who knows what they could load up on for the next 4 years if they do move on for Freddie. I don't see the team, but it could be any team. That's the weird thing with pitching. So, I'm not going to play that game. Sneaky Brewers. Watch out. 1 year, $8 million. San Diego? Preller God?
Try to shuffle back in.
I'm just guessing. You guys can do the same. Tell me whatever team you have Freddie Peralta going to, or any of these guys. Why not? Cardinals, Brendan Donovan. I mean, sure. I think Brendan Donovan can hit. Always. Again, Cardinals player generator a little bit. I don't know what the deal is. Could he do better in a change of scenery? Could anyone leaving that Cardinals team do a little better with a change of scenery? Rude. Maybe true. Nico Horner, kind of done with this one. Final year of his extension. God, he just fits that team so well. But now that Matt Shaw has some experience, they're saying Matt Shaw could go to second. They could bring in the Alex Bregman or the third baseman that they've been talking about. We just know how much that team values defense, that to move on from Horner, and man, it feels like that guy has a lot of big moments late, and his bat plays in a big moment in a win the pitch against the tough reliever. I don't know. I know it's been rumored, and I even get sense of it, but I just do not like. Mitch Keller, Pirates, absolutely, right? People have always thought there's a little more in his game. He throws innings, 175 in the past 2 years. That he's a horse. He gets paid a little bit, not a ton for a pitcher. That for Pittsburgh to get off that money, maybe get a hitter, maybe get 2 hitters, maybe get 3 hitters. Try something. And get Mitch off Pittsburgh. How about that? Your final Central team by alphabetical order in the NL is the Reds. Hunter Green mentioned. I don't think they could do that. I get it. Hunter Green, when he hits free agency, if he hits it right, we're going to be talking some crooked numbers on the board. But this guy is a 1. You have to empty the farm, and I think Cincinnati thinks they have something, and they might, but part of that something is with Hunter Green. That they're saying, trade Hunter Green for a top bat. Who the hell is that? I honestly...
Who's the top bat that his value matches up?
Have any of the names... I've done every team in the league, seemingly. A couple more to go.
And I can tell you none of the names coming up after are the one.
Dude, none of these names even get you in the ballpark. I realize that's not what this exercise is, but also, if Hunter Green's available, go get him. I don't really care what you're trading. I think he's special. 2.76 ERA in his last 258 innings the past 2 years. And it feels like it's coming together even more. Our final division is the National League West, and it's brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. That's right. The DraftKings Casino. Hello. The holidays just got hotter. Cash eruption continues. Hello. Wow. 6+ chili scatters hit. Things begin to heat up, and they trigger the cash eruption bonus. I got to be honest. I haven't been as locked in, but I have to lock in on this. New players. Play $5 and you get 500 spins over 10 days on cash eruption prizes. Sign up today using promo code JAMSPORTS so they know we sent you. DK Casino is safe, secure, and reliable. Always play if I take the train to Connecticut. Get a couple spins in. Why not? The National League West, Jake McCarthy, sure. We love it, Jake. We love speed. He has that. We don't necessarily love the 591 OPS. Change of scenery. That outfield has always felt a little packed. Again, it's tough to like hand the keys over to Jake McCarthy. There's talent there. I love the speed. Again, overshadowed kind of by Corbin, but could be fun. The Dodgers, of course. Their number one prospect in 2024, Dalton Rushing, the catcher. That's interesting. Will Smith's there. Mm-hmm. Dalton Rushing's value is a little low. 582 OPS in 53 games as a backup. So again, I guess value-wise, is it the right time for the Dodgers to trade Dalton Rushing? I don't think so. But they're the Dodgers. And they're the only two catchers and righty-lefty. Like I don't think you move on from Dalton Rushing now, because what if he's backs up Will Smith? What if Will Smith has a 3-week injury and Dalton Rushing has an 800 OPS those 3 weeks? You now have one of the most valuable, a young, controllable catcher who was a top prospect. Instead, you're just trading him like, oh, he looked bad last year. I think we're going to move on. Like
at this current moment, I would assume he's more valuable to the Dodgers as the backup and potential future trade piece than he is as a trade piece at this second.
So when you said there weren't bigger pieces coming, were you talking about Josué Gonzalez for the Giants?
Oh, I forgot him. Maybe.
Number 82 overall prospect, number 2 in the Giants top 30, 18 years old. Okay. Blocked by Willy Adames. What are we doing?
He's 18.
Willie can bop over to second in
3 years.
When Josué is 23 in 5 years, coming up on the last year of his deal. I don't know. Maybe this was a goof by Feinstein to see if we'd get to the end of the article. Well, guess what? We did. Willy Adames blocking Josué.
18-year-old Josué.
No way. San Francisco's number 4 prospect, Johnny Level. How come every prospect name seems so fake?
There are just prospect names.
Josué Gonzalez and Johnny Level. Flipping it up the middle in 8 years. I'm excited to see him.
Also an 18-year-old shortstop.
Excited to see them. Rockies, Brenton Doyle, sure. The OPS was 651 last year. 15 homers, 18 steals. Did you use that in your NL-only auction league? Don't care. Yeah, Rockies, man. Paul DiBattista is running the team now. And that's who Jonah Hill was in Moneyball. I didn't put that together until I saw all the GIFs in the reply of Jonah Hill doing that. That's good.
They made movies of this guy.
Padres, Jake Cronenworth. How about that? Let's see. 744 OPS, 367 on base. Okay. The crowd's on. $60 million over the next 5 would give the Padres some flexibility. There was some talks of dumping him previously. It would be less of a dump. Again, I don't know if that's exactly Jake Cronenworth's value. Although nobody really knows Jake Cronenworth's value, because could he be a Gold Glove second baseman? Where did Jake Cronenworth play last year?
I feel like every time I look, it's somewhere
It's always a new spot, and it's always a spot that makes you feel uncomfortable.
It's a new spot, and he's always been only doing that this year, it feels like.
Hey, mostly second base last year. Didn't grade out great, and might have led second baseman in error. So, hey.
Got a lot of shortstop time last year. By a lot, I mean over 10 appearances.
Fernando. Okay, so... And people, this is maybe something you can take to your life. What did we like from that exercise? What I liked, if Hunter Green's available, empty the tank. I don't think any price is too ridiculous for that guy. Sean Murphy, I'm going to get back on that wagon. 3 years, 45. That's what we're talking about for Real Muto. And he's old.
Why would you want the old bull when you can have the young calf?
Sometimes I just wish I did the show like that. JT Real Muto, old. Back after this. BBD, this is for Yankee fans only. Nobody else listen. I think I might be back on Edward Cabrera.
Okay.
We know the Yankees like him. He's controlled. They're cheap.
Always talking to the Marlins.
Dominguez. That was for Yankee fans only. I like Josh Jung, if you didn't know that. Severino probably gets traded because he hates his team, and the contract's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a layup. Joe Ryan, I've talked myself into. Bubic for Jarren Duran.
Yeah, we liked that.
You guys are welcome for that. Maybe it's the off season of player for player.
Player for player year.
Simeon for
Nemo.
How about that? We talk about that enough? I think so. Brandon Lowe, don't care. Spent too much time on Joey Loperfido and Ryan Mountcastle. So, thank you guys. Let me know who you're trading. I guess we can yuck a little bit of ball. I feel more lost in football than I have in past years. I'll give a little bit of a Caleb Williams apology. Bears are winning a ton of football games. They're the 1 seed in the NFC. Again, there's a lot of people that have been giving their Bears hate because they haven't been beating teams with real quarterbacks. Well, they beat the Eagles. I know the Eagles are doing their kind of eagle-ish swoon, but who cares? The Bears, the best team in the NFC. They got a big game with Green Bay coming up. Other NFL stuff I care about. Dallas is a lot of fun. I mean, 2 wide receivers playing like this. You don't see that a lot on the NFL field. Anything I liked from Sunday's games? Not really. Miami's playing themselves out of a good draft pick, and maybe McDaniels is saving his job, but is that good for anyone? That interception by the Minnesota kid was as brutal as it gets. That's tough, man. Who's that? My guy Brosmer. He joins the all-time legends of guys that had like famously bad starts. Nathan Peterman is a popular one in our group chat.
He was the one I was thinking of.
Why did he stand out so much? If I remember correctly, and sorry to Nathan Peterman and his family that listens to this program every day, his interceptions were just comical.
It was like 4 or 5 of them, and they were all hilarious.
It was just
I guess
audibly laughable. Sorry, the shrapnel there. How about your Carolina Panthers and my guy? Trev's guy, Matthew Stafford, getting taken down by my guy, Bryce Young, who, reminder, was nice to me. At, what was that? Fanatics. Fabletics. I like them. That's the bad interception on the YouTube. What else do I care about? My Broncos. I, again, was texting my buddies, why don't I like them more last night? Just weird, and I don't know what to do.
10-2 now.
Really good. Really good. Love the defense. The offense is not sexy, but it's not about that, Jake. It's never been about that. Raiders next week, that's a dub. College football, the Lane Kiffin stuff was kind of wild, and if you're a sporty person, you could get caught up in that a little bit. The one thing that I will say is funny, the Marty Smith covering it in, and Marty Smith is trapped at Ole Miss. Everyone behind the scenes has now come out and been like, it's been done since Friday. They're like, Lane closed on a house in Louisiana on Friday. So, like, it's just funny how that is, like, Marty Smith had to know. And the thing that they were following up on was, could Lane Kiffin continue to coach Ole Miss? And, man, college sports and college football has specifically found itself, as they do many times, in just a weird spot, because Ole Miss doesn't want to keep Lane around the team because then he can recruit them and bring over the whole team, which is probably going to happen anyways. Ole Miss is having their best season in program history, and they're not going to let Lane coach. And Lane, and again, who knows how real this was, but I believe it, Lane said all of his coaches, you either get on the plane or you're not coming with. Imagine that. Imagine that conversation with, like, your family. Hey, we got about 30 minutes to decide if we're moving the family to Baton Rouge or not. Thoughts? Kids are in school? I don't know. We just signed a new lease. I guess you figure stuff out. But, yeah, pretty crazy how that world just works in general, the whole coaching world. I think Lane's going to be really good at LSU. I like Lane. I went on his Wikipedia last night. Got the Raiders head coaching job at age 31. At that time, that was the youngest NFL head coach ever. And the crazier thing to me is he was never a head coach. Which, okay, that's not crazy because we often see a lot of coordinators. They get the opportunity. He was the offensive coordinator at USC for 2 years. And again, we're dealing with time here, and he comes from football lineage. And yeah, he had some growing up to do, but it feels like he's grown up. I mean, I'm now talking about a 50-year-old man, so that's odd. But yeah, and you look around the college football landscape and you look for good coaches, it's hard to get a lot of names before Lane. That hopefully that leads to some fun LSU Go Tiger football coming up. So tonight, buckle up. G-Men versus the Patriots in Foxborough. Jameis or Dart?
Dart's back.
God damn it. No offense.
Yeah.
Also electric, so like I know we lose our Prince Jameis, but what a good thing to come back to with Dart. Anything else football-wise I actually care about? Not really. The seating is insane in the NFL, and it's really good NFL fodder. I've been a little lost in it. I'm going to start trying to sink my teeth in more this Sunday in Orlando, Florida. I don't know. Hotel room, extra keys. Hey, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. If we get a breaker, maybe we go for it. If not, we'll see you here Wednesday. So thank you guys. Subscribe. Happy Honda Days. We love you. Goodbye.